Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you here. It's Preakness Day at Pimlico, and it's a big day here at Gulfstream Park as well. Double stakes action for you. Of course, the return of Crimson Advocate in the Roar, which is the finale, kind of going to get you right to the Preakness, and you can see it out there on a fast main track, a firm turf course in the Tapeta as well. It is a beautiful day here. It is a hot and steamy day here. Silks opened up early with that 10:30 post at our sister track at Pimlico. It's popping pretty good down here, so I hope to see you out here. Come on out on a great day of racing, not only here at Gulfstream, but of course at Pimlico as well. Culminating today at about 7:01, 7:05 probably in the PM with the Preakness 149. Mystic Dan, the Derby winner, trying to double up and continue on that path to a potential triple crown. But boy, a lot of excitement here today too, and really good card, as I mentioned. The double stakes as well. That rainbow's starting to get up there too. We'll take a look at that. We've got 11 for you today, so that rainbow will go in race number 6, and you can see the $175,000 is your estimated pool in there. And they're going to be betting with both hands around the country today, and including here at Gulfstream Park. So I feel like these pools will be very, very healthy. The early pick 5 is a nice one too. Let's take a look at my ticket to kick off this card. $12 ticket for me. Will spread a little bit in the opening leg in race 2. I've got the 5 Darling Luna on top. In race 3, you can see the single of the 3, and that's Hope in Him. A huge scratch in that race as well, but Hope in Him is just back to his best for Barry Croft, and I wasn't looking to beat him anymore, regardless of the scratch. 75 is your order in race 4 with Texas Air Force at a price for Barboza, I hope. And in race number 5, you can see the single. I'm not going to try to beat Angel Natashiko today on the big class drop for Safi. That's in the Monroe, which is the first of our 2 stakes races. Let's get going here on this card now. I'm going to try to give Pete a lot of time because he's got some work to do today. We got some scratches, but importantly, we've got a lot of jockey switches, changes as well, because Amicio Jaramillo is off his mounts today. In the opener now, we've got 3 scratches. The 1 Cosmic Symphony and the 4 For the Thrill are not the big deals, but the very big deal is the Arundel Firster Crash. 2-1 on the morning line is out of this race. So what was to me a puzzle anyway is even more so now. We go 6 at the bottom here. 12-5 maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up again on a fast main track today. I didn't have Crash on top. I always did have Nouveau Riche on top for Iniel Cordero. We're on a trainer switch here. We haven't seen this runner since December 7th. And that second career start when she was second was, I thought, a pretty good effort. It was a slow race, I get it, but we're talking 12-5 here at the bottom. That is what it is. Didn't work out last time. Something clearly went amiss. We're on a trainer switch now for a barn that has done good things. And what I like today is that Lasix goes on here, and I think that could be significant. The other thing I like today, too, is that Miguel Vasquez is here. So if you're going to reach out for one of our leading riders, says to me, you know what, we think we might be live in here, and that's how I'm going to play it. I did have the 7 in second, so I move everybody up from there. In the 2, Balenciaga Betty is, I think, an interesting commodity coming over from Tampa. The comeback wasn't bad at all. She chased and tired. Well, you would have thought she would have tired because she hadn't been out in over a year. Well, it's behind her now and brings her jockey over, Jorge Unandeta. So we'll see what we get today, but I think especially with the scratch, she's live. Cajun Expectation, another Tampa invader that did run very well when Lasix was added last time to be second. That race fits with a group like this. I know the Tampa horses theoretically are at a class disadvantage coming to the big leagues here at Gulfstream Park. Well, again, this is the lowest level we have for the maiden claiming ranks. I don't think anybody is out of the realm of possibility in a spot like this if they have good form, and she does. The Tampa horses do in this spot. Race number 2, we go a mile on the firm turf course. These are $16,000 maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We've got a scratch of the 7, Follow the Fed, the 13 Vanishing Wish, the 15 Dialythic, and the 16 Tis Aaron are all out. The 14 Cool Tricks will draw in, and she will run, and Edgar Perez will ride. Edgar Perez on the 14. I go to the 5 Daring Luna on a little bit of a price play. I got my long shot home yesterday under what could be similar circumstances. We have seen time and time again speed play on this turf course. Darling Luna added Lasix last time. She stuck around a lot more, a lot longer. I don't know if she's going to be on the lead, but she's going to be darn close, and I think at a price, she's fair in here. The 3, Take Your Point, getting back to the turf, and this is a pretty big class drop. I know April 6th is not theoretically the championship meet, but a lot of connections are still here. That was a championship meet, kind of $35,000 maiden claimer. Well, this is a big, big drop for Take Your Point, and I think with this ground-saving post, I think she can be a big, big threat. And I've got her favorite on the morning line as well. The 8 is Fear in Friday for Lisa Lewis on a trainer switch from Christophe Clement. The only 2 times this daughter of Kitten's Joy was on the turf were against Maiden Special Weight Company in the championship meet. She chased and tired 2 back. That'll help her today. Royal Winter was just up at Pimlico yesterday in a stakes race. She's okay for Grand Motion. Actually, Expatriate was in that same race for Chad Brown, too. So she comes out of a couple good races. I don't know if she can run or not at all, so you're going to take an underlaid price, but I think in a race like this, she's clearly in the mix. Race number 3 now. We will get to 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's a starter, optional claimer for the 4-year-olds and up. A massive scratch of the 4 Jet Wings. So 6-5 on the morning line, and Hope and Him might literally be 1-5 by post time. And I got to give Barry Croft and the connections real credit here, because I admittedly, and you've probably heard me say this, I know Barry and his owner heard me say this, thought that Hope and Him was a little off form. No. He is right back as good as he's always been. He's the fastest male Tapeta horse we have on the grounds here. He is freakishly fast. He outpops the gate every time. It's really impressive. And his speed just fries everybody. That's what I was hoping was going to, I was playing against Jet Wings in here. Now Hope and Him is as loose as they want him to be. 5.5, it doesn't bother me at all. He'll string this field out and he'll wire them with no problem whatsoever. But my picks are the same here. I always did have the 6, Amore Lejano, in second. The problem with him now is, with the heavy chasing speed of Jet Wings out of this race, he's really got his work cut out for him, because he's going to be a month behind this field early on. He did run well to close last time at 12.5 for Louis Duco. I still think he'll run on. Adios Asher's probably going to get fried chasing, and that's why I'm going to just go 3-6 to the hoop in race number 3. Race number 4, stretching him out on the Tapeta, $170 here in this 12.5 maiden claimer. 3-year-olds and up. We scratched the 4. My buddy Frank Edgar Perez will ride the 5. The 14, Baba's Baby Boy, is out too. The 13, Builder Jack, will draw in, and he will run. Top pick for me is Texas Air Force for Victor Barboza. I made him 8-1 on the line here. He's really slow. He should be 8-1, but to be perfectly honest with you, in hindsight, I probably should have made him lower, because as long as they show up in the paddock with a saddle on, they're going to bet these Barboza horses. We've seen it now time and time again. They did it with Gepard yesterday off the claim. He's good again all of a sudden. So they're probably going to bet Texas Air Force, and I get it. But he still should be 4 or 5 or 6-1 in here, because he's slow. I get that he was second for 16, but when you look at the other races, and now you've heard me say it, I don't believe in these Tapeta figures at all, but he was second. Gelding in Lasix now, but he hasn't been out in a long time. It's his first start of the year, so what do we get today? It is a good sign to see Miguel Vasquez land here. Okay, let's bring up the replay, guys, of Gold Franc and Barry the Builder. I don't want to ruin it for you all, but Barry the Builder's not going to win. I didn't want to dispel this mystery and ruin a good thing for everybody, but he's not going to win. But he's going to look like he's going to win, because Barry the Builder has done that about 9 times in his career, and he's just impossible to trust. He's probably going to be favored again. He is always favored. He always runs okay, but he's got the ultimate H in him, because finally today was going to be the day he's going to win this race. Look at this. No, he doesn't want to win. So Barry the Builder, again, at a massive underlaid price. I thought Gold Franc actually ran pretty well in this spot, dueling it out, sussing it out. You can't take Barry the Builder. Just don't play him anymore. Please stop, because he's just a big-time refuser, and he's just an underlay every time. And it's a great race to have him in, because then you go look elsewhere and you get value elsewhere with him. And certainly he's going to run well, and I've got him, in the mix. But I'd rank Gold Franc, who showed, to me, more fight in the race. I know he was third behind Barry the Builder, but he's got the fight to me. And Nolan Ramsey got his first of what will be countless career victories the other week, and that was good to see. And Goldfrank, they're probably going to have to run him down. He's dangerous in here. One more before the break for the Rainbow, and it's a good one, too. It's the Monroe, and these are fillies and mares 3 and up. We go a mile and a 16th on the firm turf course. $95,000 is up for grabs. Jose Ferrer will ride the 7:30 Thou Kevin, and the race goes through Angel Natashika. There's no doubt about it. What a massive drop here. Looks like Safi's going to try to get a confidence boost in her. She's a grade 3 winner at Santa Anita for Patty Gallagher. Safi's run her in some very salty spots in her 2 starts for him during the championship meet. The very one won by R. Callie Kim, who was so good before, unfortunately, having to be retired for Brendan Walsh at a mile and 3/8, by the way. And then last time in the Sand Springs, I mean, you got Cairo Consort, fastest flight, went up to Churchill Downs and won a stakes race for Marty Drexler, a graded stakes race on Kentucky Oaks Day. So, the races Angel Natashika is coming out of are just so much better. Does she need to be on the lead? I don't really think so. And the good thing for her is, I know she's been on the point the last 3 starts, actually, but you got Empress Ellie down on the inside, and she's got one way to win this race, and that's to go to the front. So Edgar Zayas can probably, I hope, take a little bit more of a patient approach with Angel Natashika, and I just think at the end of the day she'll be a little too much filly mare for this field. I want to show you Ocean Club, though. I played her in this race on February 24th, and boy, I don't know if she was going to win, but let's check this trip out here now, okay? The winner is Sweet Danny Girl. Papilio's going to run second. Those are graded stakes caliber fillies and mares for Maker and Cassie. Here's Ocean Club, and what was her first start since September 2nd. And Edwin Gonzalez, where's he going? He couldn't get her out, and nothing he could do here. This is turf racing at its finest. Sometimes the holes are there, sometimes they're not. And just look at this now. She's essentially going to coast to the line in 3rd gear. He's got run. He was never able to use it. Well, you know what? They got her to the PETA last time as well, and she aired. She's a very, very good filly for Glen Hill, and I think she's the main danger in here. And this is a 4-3-1 punch for me. My buddy Ben has reminded me, thank you, that it's TT pick 3 time. I said it right, too. I wish Samantha was watching. I got it right. A lot of 4s in there. Oh, my goodness. So here's this one here. In race number 9, we've got the 4 on top, too, and that's La Macaro on a send mission there. And in race number 11, we've got the 6 on top. Okay, that's a little better. Reef Runner. I'm going to try to beat Crimson Advocate, who is the 4. Can't wait to talk about that. Let's go to the break, though, here, because we've got 5 down, 6 remaining, and when we come back, it's Rainbow 6 time. We got an estimated $175 in there. I'm playing the over on what's a good sequence with a stakes race in it. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
Win big with new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you. A big card here Saturday at Gulfstream Park. A couple of stakes, 11 races. We're kind of pretty much going to take you right up to the Preakness at 7:01. We're going to wrap up around 6:25 or so. So stick around. Silks will be popping. There's going to be a lot of excitement here. Preakness 149. Pimlico's already going. Silks is already got a bunch of people in there. Hope to see you out here. What a beautiful day as well. Come on out, enjoy some cocktails, and bet the Preakness, and of course bet this card as well. And of course, bet the Rainbow 6, too, in race number 6. As I mentioned before the break, we've got an estimated jackpot of $175,000. These pools here at Gulfstream are going to be lucrative today. People are going to be betting all across the country, and I know Pimlico is front and center, our sister track, but they're going to be firing today here as well. I'm not going to put a lot into this sequence. I have advocated in the past that these are the days to get involved, maybe when, a big day is elsewhere. This is a type of sequence to me. I might even try to pop this two or three times, excuse me, because I think it's kind of right there. I didn't see anything too funky on this rainbow sequence. I've got Candy Street in race number 7 as a single. Race number 8, certainly Legacy Isle as my best bet of the day, needs to be singled. Race 9 is the turf race we talked about. Lam Caro on a send mission for Herbie Miller. Race 10 is on the Tapeta. It's got my long shot in there, and that is the 8, and that's Wicca Wisdom off the claim for Chris Gaddis. And in the Roar, a lot of people are going to single Crimson Advocate, the 4, and I'm not going to blame them on that at all. I mean, she's a Royal Ascot winner and a stakes winner here at Gulfstream Park, but she is a she, and she's taking on males today off a layoff, and I like Reef Runner, and I like him quite a bit in this spot. Here's a $10.80 rainbow. I lost a pick here in race number 6, and we can get to it now. This is a special weight for the state breds here. These are fillies and mares 3 and up. We'll go 6.5 on a fast main track. Scratch the 5, Fussy Girl. The big scratch here is the 8, Our Friend Sadie, because she was the stablemate of the 4, Big Bouquet of Roses. Miguel Vasquez will pick up the mount on the 6, and that is Alice Queen. And I liked the firster, and she's out. So now her stablemate, and we saw this yesterday now as well with the Mikey Yates 2-year-olds in the first race. If you've got 2 in here and you scratch 1, well, it kind of just tells everybody, you know what, I like the 1 a lot better than running both of them. So now the 4, Big Bouquet of Roses, is really front and center in here. I had her favored tepidly anyway. I would think she's going to be a pretty stiff favorite in here now with the scratch. She was 7-5 last time in a maiden optional claimer, so of course that's an open race facing open company. She was a good second. She moved way up in her figure last time as well, be it the Beyer or the Thoroughgraphs, and now she's 3rd start of her form cycle and 3rd start off a long layoff as well. I think the dangerous horse in here now with the 8 out is the 2, Julie's Legacy. Now, this is a first-time starter for Rohan Crichton, and Safi Joseph's got a firster next door in the 3, Timely Reward. Where's Edgar Zayas pop up? He's going to ride for Rohan. So I got a feeling this daughter of Bouchero can run a little bit. Now, 6.5 on debut, that's tricky, and it's not easy. I think we all know the Boucheros like Tapeta better, but he runs on. He sires anything. He's such a good, prolific sire, and what a bargain for 7,500. Unraced Dam, she's 10 years old. It's her 3rd foal. One of them did win on debut. Not much. The works here are pretty darn solid, albeit on the Tapeta is the one that really sticks out to me. But with Edgard here, I would think Julie's Legacy can run, and I would think, especially with a big scratch, she's going to take a lot of money in this spot as well. I'm going to use the 6, Alice Queen, as I mentioned. Miguel, Jose D'Angelo adds Lasix. He's not a first-time starter. She finished behind Brizero in her debut on Tapeta. We'll try the main track. Lasix, I think you get a better effort from her today, and I think she's worth using and including in your rainbow. Race number 7 now. We are on the Tapeta at a mile and a 16th. These are 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. Your tag is $8,000. Jockey changes on the 3. Hichichero, Edgar Perez will ride. The 5, Danley, Joseph Trejos will ride. So 3 and the 5 with the switches. No hind shoes on the 2, so take that for what it's worth. Pete's upstairs. He's the boss. He'll let you know about everything. I'm going to single here because I said this yesterday. I think Liz Dobles is really starting to tick over a little bit. And I think Candy Street has a big edge in here in that I know he's 1 for 18. Okay, I get it. But he's got an edge in that he's proven at this level, and he's got the tactical speed to just be involved throughout. And Edgar Zayas got aboard last time. He was a good second last time. I just think he's found the right field to handle today and break through. Let's show you Hay River, though, last time, because he's a real threat in here. He popped the field, and he was good doing it. He was Titan was chasing him. He's going to run second. It was a merry-go-round kind of race, and that's never, I don't think that's ever a good thing. But he strung out this field, and he threw in a sharp second quarter to do it, and he's going to run off here. I thought this was a pretty good effort. It was his first start on Tapeta. and it was his first start at 2 turns as well. So he's a threat in here. They're going to bet him in here, no doubt, too. It wouldn't shock me if he's a little bit below this kind of price, but I think with Edgard on Candy Street, they'll bet him, and I'll talk about Bold Advance in a second because he wasn't far behind Candy Street. This is a good effort here, and he was just, shown the crop there, and he won with plenty left. Dangerous horse here now coming back. The 9 is Go G, excuse me. This is an Antonio kind of horse, Antonio kind of race. It wouldn't shock me at all if he makes a dent. The tricky thing about Bold Advance is that he was chasing Candy Street last time. He was close. He's now off the claim for Leon Mignette, who's actually got a couple wins this year. It's a relatively low percentage, quiet kind of barn that we don't see a lot of. He will not have to improve this horse that much to turn the tables on Candy Street, but that might be a little easier said than done. Late pick 4 time in race number 8. We're 6 furlongs on a fast main track. The only change here is that Jose Morelos will ride Classic Car Wash. 6 furlongs and an optional claim. A really good group here on the 3-year-olds and up. Jose Morelos has been in really good form here at the Royal Palm Meet. But it's my best bet of the day in here. I played Legacy Isle as my long shot last time in the Sir Shackleton. I thought he ran pretty well. That's not his group. He can't play with horses like that. But he was chased on the lead through wild splits, and all things considered, he held pretty well. Well, he's at 6 furlongs today, and he wants to dirt sprint. I know Rohan tried him, doing some things, routing, Tapeta, turf. He's a dirt sprinter. And now he's doing what he wants to do, and I just don't see him being caught in here. And one of the reasons, too, is he should be loose in here. In Classic Car Wash, he needs a meltdown. He couldn't get there at 7 last time behind Shaq Diesel when they went crazy fast early. Well, how's he going to get there at 6 today when I think Legacy Isle is going to be freewheeling on the front end? So this is not the type of race for me. I know it's my best bet anyway, so I'm going to single. This is not the type of race to me where you want to use the 1 and the 6 equally. Because on paper, even though Classic Car Wash is seemingly the main danger, the running styles do not make them equal on paper. And if you're a gambler here, you lose a lot of your value and your leverage if you're going to use both of those horses equal, and I'm not going to do that in a spot like this. I like Swervin. I don't know where he is, though. I don't know what's going on with him. He got thrown to the Wolves last time. He's got a lot of talent, but he's got to prove it, and it's been a little bit now since he's run. And when I say that, I mean since he's made a dent. And now he's an older horse. He's got to prove that, too. Looks like he's working okay, but I see a gap in there as well. I don't know what to make of him, and as much as I like him, I can't come back to him today. Late pick 3, and don't forget, those are dollar pick 3s now in race number 9. We'll go a mile on a firm turf course. A good maiden special weight here for the 3-year-olds. Scratched the 1 Burkus. That was a little bit late. All the AEs are out. Jesus Rios is going to ride the 5, and Melvis Gonzalez will ride the 9. This is in all your horizontals, including the TT pick 3. And I don't know how far Lamcaro can run, but he'll be as loose as they want him to be in here. And Jose Morelos, as I said, has been riding really good, and he can read a racing form. We got to send here. We got to open up here, and we got to take a deep breath and hope we can hold it for about 1 minute and 34 seconds because that's his path to victory. And we saw it yesterday. It popped with my long shot. If you saw that race yesterday, and I'm not saying it because it was my long shot. I'm saying it because the horse ran huge on the front end, setting aggressive splits while rank and uncontrollable early, and they still couldn't pass her. Speed is playing on this turf course, and Lamcaro, like I said, a Liam's map out of a Kitten's Joy mare. I know he gave it up last time with an open length lead in deep stretch sprinting. He'll control things early in here, and I think it's him to catch. Scratches are going to hurt the price a little bit down on the inside, but he's a huge, huge threat in here. He could even be favored because if they don't bet the 10 Monopoly of Hour, he probably will be favored. But Monopoly of Hour, this firster, for George Weaver, Rapoli, and Vinny Viola, they paid $700,000 for him. He's a son of Not This Time. I don't buy racehorses. I don't pretend to know about conformation or what they look like. I can't wait to see this horse, though, because I have no idea why he cost $700,000. There's no pedigree at all. All the other runners, were just not very good. We'll see. I know the connections have been sending horses to George, and it's great to see George Weaver, one of the real good guys. But, you know, the A-list runners typically go to Todd Pletcher. So what's going on here with Monopoly of Hour, who's going to debut on May 18th of his 3-year-old season? He's got a slew of works. He costs $700. I got to see it, though, and we're going to find out today at about 5:18 in the p.m. I want to show you Il Siciliano here. He's stepping up from 35. I kind of think we can all agree this is not the best maiden special weight we're going to run here, okay? So he's stepping up. This is a pretty good effort here. He didn't necessarily have a great run of it early. He's got traffic issues through the stretch, but he comes up the hedge here, and I thought he ran pretty well. He's going to have to step it up today, but this is, you know, he's running on with interest here. I like this effort. And I think he's a player in here, and I don't think you should sleep on him in here, even though you're going to look and say, oh, he was in for 35, he's running in a special weight. No, I think there's a little more going on there, and don't sleep on him in a spot like this. Late double kicks off now in race number 10. We'll go 1.70 miles on the Tapeta here. These are fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up. The tag is 10. Scratch the 4, Dancing with Daffodils. Lionel Reyes will ride Smart Spending, who is your morning line favorite. I've got my long shot in here. It's a stab, I don't admittedly, but it's the 8 Wicca Wisdom. Chris Gaddis, if you're not familiar with him, we know him here in the summer at Gulfstream Park, and he does a pretty solid job. He's not going to run a lot of horses, but the ones he is going to run, they're going to be in the right spots. He's 3 for 9 off the claim. Now, that's not a huge angle by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a solid sample. This horse has got 1 race on the Tapeta here. It wasn't any great shakes, but it wasn't terrible as well. And I think Wicca Wisdom off the claim, off a good race at Tampa now, in the 3rd start of her form cycle, I think she's dangerous in here. I like her tactical speed. I like the fact that she can get 2 turns. Let's take a shot. The other reason I'm taking a shot is because, I mean, what do you get from Smart Spending? I have absolutely no idea where her form is. So she runs on July 23rd in an optional claimer here on the Tapeta. Goes away. Victor Barboza brings her back on April 20th at Tampa for 10 on the turf. And at 80 cents on the dollar, she's 4th. And she wasn't close, and she didn't run well. And now she's on the Tapeta. Okay, that's a good thing. She's got a couple wins. Her best races just drown this field. But what are you going to get today? Where is she at today? Now, Victor wins at a high percentage for a lot of different reasons. One of them is he does run horses where they belong. He's not afraid to lose horses by putting them into races that they might, you know, seemingly be above and beyond. But she's the horse to beat. It doesn't mean you have to trust her or take a very short price. I think Current Situation has got a ground-saving post. She ran well last time for Jose Garofalo. A little bit of a rise from 8, but all these races are kind of sort of the same. Race number 11, we're clearly saving the best for last because this is the Roar. Now, these are for 3-year-olds, $95,000 on the line. We'll sprint 5 on a very fast and very firm turf course. The 3, Devil in Disguise, is out. The 9, Test Factor, is out. So 8 to 5 is also out on Crimson Advocate. She'll probably be odds on in here. And that's fine, but I want to lead with my top pick, and that is Reef Runner. Guys, cue it up for me, would you? I want to talk about it because this is Reef Runner's lone start on the turf here at Gulfstream Park. Here's Esperon, and Esperon's on the engine here going 21-2, 43-1, and that's a real problem for Crimson Advocate. But it's not a problem for Reef Runner. And I know he was 15-1, and I know you had Paco here, and I know Paco's awesome, and he had a hell of a championship meet. But we got Miguel Vasquez here, and we got a horse that can settle a little bit today because they are going to absolutely fly up front. And I don't care if you're the buyers or if you're thoroughgraphs. This was a very, very fast race. Valiant Force was odds on. He's grade 1 stakes place. He was second in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Reef Runner can run. No pun intended. And I think let's segue to Crimson Advocate now and bring that one up, guys. This is her Royal Palm Juvenile Fillies race last year. We just ran these races last weekend, and she parlayed this, exactly what we were hoping here at First Racing in Gulfstream Park. She parlayed this to a trip over to Royal Ascot, and she parlayed it into a win in the Queen Mary. And watch her for George Weaver. What a powerful effort she delivers. So she's a stakes winner right here on the lawn at Gulfstream Park, and that's great. And that's why she's the horse to beat in here. And that's why she's the most likely winner. If we run this race 20 times, she'd probably win at 18 or 19 of them. But let's talk about May 18th, because she hasn't been out since the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, Valiant Force, I mentioned in early November at her sister track at Santa Anita. Okay, that's part one. Part two is, I know she's the best horse in here. She is running against males today, though, off that layoff. And then part three, and we're so happy to have her here, but the Roar Stakes is not where they're trying to peak, okay? Big major goals. Maybe Royal Ascot again for Crimson Advocate. So if you're ever going to try to beat her, if you're ever going to try to beat an odds-on favorite, it's today, off the layoff, facing males with bigger fish to fry down the road. And I think it's a great spot to get involved and try someone else in here. And that's why I like Reef Runner, and I like him quite a bit. Okiro's good for Jose Garofalo. He brought him up to Turfway and won a stakes. What a cool job and what a cool thing to see. I kind of feel like he's a little better on Tapeta as opposed to Turf, but he's another horse. If they fly early and if it falls apart, he's going to run on late. And think of Bullet last week in the Royal Palm Juvenile Fillies. She closed. You can do it on the turf if you got the right horse. And I think Reef Runner might be the right horse in the Roar. What a good ending to the card. That's at about 6:30 in the p.m. And so we're going to get you right to Preakness at about 7:01 in the p.m. And I think that's the perfect segue into the lightning round here. I want to give Pete plenty of time because there's a lot of changes on this card today. Lightning round is short, it's to the point, it's concise, and that's because it's Preakness Day at our sister track at Pimlico. They're already going there at the 10:30 a.m. tip time up there. What a day, what a card, 14 of them in the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Preakness 149 will go a little bit later at 7:01 in the p.m. I believe that is race 13 at Pimlico. The Derby winner, Mystic Dan, front and center now as he tries to continue on his path towards immortality. What a monster Derby he had. And, some major contenders in there, Catching Freedom, Tuscan Gold, and the like. Imagination for Bob Baffert. But, I don't know, Mystic Dan, I can't take anything away from his Derby. What an effort. And now the Preakness, First Racing has put on a phenomenal, well, it's a promotion for the players. It's a phenomenal go get it for the horses and the connections, because they have now this Grand 3, and it's going to start with today's Preakness, okay? So you got to get involved. If a horse wins these 3 races, they're going to get $5 million. The California Crown, if you're wondering what that is, that's the old Awesome Again that we run there at Santa Anita in early September as a precursor, or late September, on their opening weekend, that Grade 1 winning you're into the Breeders' Cup Classic. And then, of course, we all know the Pegasus World Cup. Now, get involved online, because if you pick the top 4 finishers in these 3 races in order, you're going to win $5 million. You got to sign up. You got to do it, of course, by post time in the Preakness. But get involved. It's free. And if nobody hits the top 4 finishers, then the top leader will get $100,000. So take note of that. Get involved on the website. My best bet today is in race number 8. That is the One Legacy Isle. And my long shot is just a couple races later in race number 10, and that is the 8 Wicca Wisdom. That's it for me. I'm done. Pete's upstairs. Happy Preakness Day. We're happy to have you aboard here at Gulfstream Park as well. Hang out and bet both tracks because they have phenomenal products today. We'll see you in a bit.